Hello everyone, Michelle here from the Creative Cove. Thanks for joining me today. Today is a video on more clusters. I have been obsessed making clusters. I have been trying to clean out my studio and then I'll get distracted with some really pretty paper and then I'll just start sitting down and gluing and then next thing you know, hours have passed and I have created a mass amount of clusters, whether they are finished clusters or beginner clusters. The inspiration behind this was finding, of course, scrap watercolor paper. And then I can't help myself but do little doodles and make these clusters. Something like this, and then add a simple, elegant, tiny little watercolor to it. And I can't help myself. They're everywhere. Look at them all. Like, I got nothing accomplished other than these. And I'm okay with that. So I thought we'll make some. I made little tags as well. Found some little mini cards. Couldn't help myself there either. And I just went to town on it. So clusters to me are a really fun way to just sit and relax and build something kind of unique that later becomes something very simple to embellish with. What I love about them is sometimes you get stuck in building a journal and trying to figure out what to add to the paper. It's the same mundane thing, you know, like belly bands, a corner pocket, a little tuck. Sometimes I just like to take something like this and glue it in. And you'll see I've been playing with color here. So I've got some different colors that I was working with, some greens, some blues. Lately I've been into the blues. I really like this paper. And then I found these envelopes and I really love the texture of the blue paper. So it kind of inspired me to do something blue. So I'll probably end up making a journal that's got blue in it, which is new for me. Well, I shouldn't say new, but I haven't used color in quite some time. I'm usually a neutral person. Millie is trying to get comfortable on her bed there if you hear something in the background. But I thought color could be fun. So let me see if I find some scrap watercolor here. So here's my scraps. This is what I stumble across, and then I'm like, ooh, let's paint some stuff. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have that problem. My studio, I'm going to show you a little tour soon once I actually do finish tidying it up. It's something I've been meaning to do for a while now that I haven't. Again, I keep putting off. I'm just going to do a little rectangles here. I really like adding stuff like this into a journal as well, and I don't have a lot of those. So I'm going to start with just a few of these. What was I saying? Yeah, I was going to do a studio tour. I was going to leave it until I had the studio set up exactly how I wanted it, but realizing that that's not going to happen anytime soon. It's really not. I have it. I'm trying to get it, my goal right now is just get it to a point where it's functional. I find I have a bomb goes off in here at the end of the day, and I'm asking myself, you know, why is that? Why can't I stay organized? Or why does it look like a toddler's been in here playing by the time I finish creating something? And it occurred to me that I really just don't have organization in place. That's what I think anyways. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm thinking, is I don't have the means to put things away easily. And so I'm working on building a structure that will help me do that. I hope that made sense. Anyways, I'm working with my Mei Liang paints here, my watercolor paints. I don't have the Color Legend anymore, but I'm just using a blue, ultramarine, I would say. And I'm going to start with the darkest color. I'm just going to fill in these here. Settle down, Mills. Get comfy. And then a little bit more water. thin out the color. And I think these will make really interesting additions to clusters, having the color palette there. What would be really fun is if you had a flower in front of you, or an image, say a landscape or something, and you pulled out the colors and did this. Maybe we'll do that too, because I think that could be really fun to show. Settle down. What's wrong? Let's do a greeny blue. So some green, some blue, maybe some white. It's a fun color. Okay, let's make it a little more opaque. I just want to fill these in here. And then we'll let that dry, and then we'll do some other painting, and then we'll make clusters. If you want to stick around. Man, there's just something about watercolor scraps. They get me every time. My intention was just to start cleaning and organizing, and then completely sidetracked. Derailed. I was completely derailed. All right, we'll just let that dry. So I like to make some simplified focal points. I did this not too long ago with some papers. And I want to, what's really fun is you can find a piece of paper that you really like, so scraps that you really love, and pull these colors and create them in your palette. And then you have, you know, something that's cohesive, completely cohesive, which is really nice. See, these are scraps, failed watercolor attempts in the past. So I thought maybe we could do some different florals. So I am just moving my brush, creating kind of like a lavender feel. Nothing's perfect because there's no perfect lines, no straight lines, that's what I mean to say. And I'm just gonna pull in the center. So I keep the brush consistent in the direction it's moving. And let's try some greeny pink. Let's try some yellow. I don't know if it's just because it's winter here, but I am craving color again. So let's do some in yellow. And I'm just pulling it in and then creating a nice thin. You can try a different brush as well for different looks. So a thinner brush. I'm using a number 4 watercolor brush. I want to be mindful of where I'm going to cut too, so I'm trying to give myself a little bit of space. Let's do green. And I'm just having fun. This is my distraction from working. But these don't take long. And I find they're really quite useful for embellishments. And maybe a pink. Just some simple. This is a great way to practice your brush strokes as well. Nice and loose. But you want to be consistent on how you pull the paintbrush in. So I'm going in from the same direction on both sides. A little bit more color on this one. Okay, so then we'll let that dry. Let's do some flowers. Let's do some yellow. So like a little buttercup. So you can do 1, 2, 3. I like to leave a little white in the center. And then I'm going to pull to the side and pull to the side. So it's not just, you know, a perfect 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 look. It switches it up a little bit. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So more of a side profile of the flower. And you can see I have rounded edges here and pointy ones, all from the same brush. Push on the brush, spread it out, push on the brush, spread it out. Another one and another one. So this petal is right facing me, and this is a side profile of the petal and the back petals. Yeah, you can really have fun creating different compositions of flowers, different kinds of flowers. So maybe we'll have a bit of a daisy here. And I'm only using one color. I'm not mixing it. Something a little bit more spiky maybe. And just really have fun. Just relax. Let the paintbrush do its thing. So you see how I'm always pulling to the center as well. So the minute I change it, so I'm going to go to the center, and if I go out this way, it changes the shape of the petal, which can be useful in some cases. But if you want it consistent, train your brain and your hand to do the same consistent move, pulling it into the center. So it breaks up the petal shape a little bit. It looks a little bit more natural, I find, when I do that. Okay, let that one dry. Let's give them a few stems. Actually, I didn't give them any stems. Just a couple of stems. So this guy can have a stem. This guy, and this guy. Maybe a petal. A leaf, I mean. Because why not? Okay, let that dry. Let's do some bright blues. Almost a turquoise. Should we do the simplified kind of new growth here? I love doing these ones. I just push on and pull up my brush. And then if I want to change the shape of the top, I can. And push and pull up. I don't know if I can do that from a side profile so you can see the pressure I'm applying. Let's see. So I'm going to tip and then push and pull up. Hopefully you can see that and it creates that line. I don't know if that was on camera or not. But that again is going to teach you some brush control, which can be very helpful when it comes to doing more detailed work. And this is a nice little scrap piece. You know, I'm not using up my good stuff, just using up scraps, and creating these nice little focal points that I can use later in my journals. All right, let's do a flower in this color. It's the same thing. I'm going to push down. I'm going to push down and kind of spread the bristles out. Push down and spread. Push down. And then instead of going 5, I'm going to give me a side angle again of a couple of petals that are growing towards me. And then a stem. So we can do the 5. We can do a flower right face on. So this is where the brush is starting to dry, which can also have a really cool effect. So very wet, and as I did the last two, there's a lot less water on the brush and it creates more of a feathery look. Another way to have fun with your watercolors, with different techniques of wet and dry. Okay, maybe do one of those that we like, that I like anyways, the bit of a what is that called? What's that? Lavender. Just dabbing, pulling and pushing the paint. Nice thin. And that will show up nice later. And then we got one more. What should we do on this one? So we could do something like, let's use some pink on this one. We could do something more focal, something a bit, not focal, but bigger. So I'm just going to create the movement of the stem. And then I'm going to start creating more leaves. I did a lacy journal the other day, and it had something similar to this on the cover. And I really think that this simple style of watercoloring is very effective for focal points. So just push and pull, push and pull it up, push, pull it up. The less pressure, the thinner the line. Something like that. You can also play with the amount of water you have on your brush. So something where you do very watered. Again, paying attention to where I can cut this, and then dropping in some solid pigment and then letting it dry and see the effect it has. Okay, so those are some ideas of how I play with watercolor. Ooh, there's another piece. Not getting nothing done today. And now I'm going to make some clusters. And so I have some scraps here. And I like to start with a bit of a thicker background. So let's chop up this watercolor piece. I like to have something a little thicker and stable to work on. And in the case I've been playing with, like the way I've been building them lately, is I've just been tearing the paper. And I like to work with the torn edge. So this is how I do clusters. Clusters is nothing new. But what I love is that everybody has their own unique way of doing them. How they visualize the paper, how they feel the texture of the paper, the interest that they feel is a focal point. The direction of the paper too can be interesting. So maybe you want to build something where it's not just a rectangle, but you can build it where it kind of has a funky shape. There's a better sample in here. So different shapes, not just rectangles. And the different shape ones are something I find kind of challenging. It's hard to think outside the box that way. At least I find it is. But I've been forcing myself to do it, and I've really ended up liking the results. So I'm just gonna bring that one down just a smidge, to change the shape. And I'm just using up whatever scraps. So you see I'm using primarily neutral scraps because that's what I have a lot of. But I also like how they play against the bright colors of the watercolor. So depending on the journal you're building, what color you might want to use, what colors are inspiring you right now. I think I want to do something bigger on this one. I really like these here. And I just chop them down and have them ready to go. And I think I will ink. I wasn't inking a lot, like none of my clusters here have any ink on them, but I feel like I wanted to play with I have found some scraps, big scraps in my scrap pile. So colors as well that I've been playing with. So it's a good way to use these up. Just to add a little more interest. It's got a soft yellow on the other side. But this time I think I'm going to ink it. And we'll see how we feel. So just ripped clusters. Ready to go. And I will work on my studio when I'm done. It's not just cleaning it up, it's revamping it. And it's been a challenge to put things. I think the problem is I have so many different disciplines. So I teach a lot of classes, so I have a lot of materials kicking around. You know, I don't just have 2 pairs of scissors, I have like 20 pairs of scissors because I teach 20 people at a time sometimes. And finding storage for that while keeping the space functional can be quite challenging. At least that's my excuse. I'm sticking to it. And then I have my little, so this is an example of the stuff I've been trying to sort too. If you have suggestions on how to do this, please let me know. Kind of little snippets of things, if that's what they are. So I have like, I'm trying to do numbers and small words. Then I have like these little label ones. Then I have stuff that I've made. Then I have some colored pieces. So trying to sort them out where I can just grab them and be functional has been challenging as well. Because I don't know how to sort those. They've been quite challenging to figure out. And do I want to add that there? Sorry, it's a bit hard to see. Hopefully I'm in frame. I like that there. Now if I had ribbon, put some ribbon, some yellow ribbon, that would be nice. I have blue, but I don't have yellow. Maybe a bit of lace, some kind of lace. This white piece here. Just for some added texture. Put that behind. I like that. Let's do that. And then I have another cluster done to add to my collection. And, you know, when spring comes, or maybe before spring comes, because I need some color in my life, it would be nice to have all these nice springy colors ready to go. That's cute. I like it. Let's do the cards. Where'd my cards go? Here. So I'm just going to take a bigger scrap, something like old music notes here. Let's shift some of this out of the way for a second. And what I like to do is I like to make a bunch of these all at once. So I will glue this down. And I'm going to use the line as a reference. I like a little bit of a lip left over to fold. I think I have shown how I do these before, because I made a bunch of them before, but now I've got some more cards. I got, I'm not sure where these ones came. I think I did buy these in the thrift shop, but I did get another set of cards. Where are they? They're so cute. From the Christmas cracker this year. And they're tiny and adorable. So I can't wait to use these guys up. You never know what you get in Christmas crackers. Super fun. All right, and then I'm just gonna go over this, go over the line here. Generous with the glue. I'm gonna fold this over. And why I'm covering the cards completely is I just really like the size and how quick these little tags come together using cards. I just peel it back a little bit to that line. And then I'll just rip it, hopefully, straight. And then just make sure that that is glued down. Peel it back a little bit. Go just a smidge of glue on the edge. Okay, now I gotta find the cards. So all I do is fold the paper where I feel the edge of the card is. And that I find is the fastest way to cover these cards. And then I just cut them. You could tear them, but in this case I'm going to cut. You can see the crease of paper where to cut. Not the end of the world if you cut the card. And then, of course, I get my rounder, corner rounder going. It's right here. Let me just move this paint water out the way before I knock it over. And I'll take the little setting and just round the card back off. Scrap. And I just really like doing these. I think they're just a relaxing little mass make, because all these little cards and bits and pieces really do add up on your collection of your stash. And then I find I get a little overwhelmed by too much material and I need to use it up. So these little scraps this time I'm going to throw away, because again, I don't need that many. And then I'm just gonna, this little pokey tool, got this off Amazon a long time ago. I'll see if I can find it and link it. But it makes a nice little opening as opposed to the traditional round hole punch. And I like this when it comes to adding lace, because it lays flat. Okay, move those out of the way. And then we'll ink really quick. Back up on my ink. There he is. This is vintage photo, by the way. It's a really old one. I use it for all kinds of crafting projects. I have a new one. I just thought I'll keep using this till it no longer produces any ink. I'll just do two. Oh, I gotta have my coffee. It's early in the morning here. And I need some coffee. It is minus 16 out today. Yuck. It's the kind of cold air that takes your breath away as soon as you go outside, but it does rejuvenate you. That's the word. It really does, because it's so cold. It wakes you right up. All right, let's get these done here. So find a scrap. Really love this texture. And I'm going to tear a piece. Yeah, like that. So rub some ink on this guy. Keep it all consistent. So what are you guys up to these days? What are you making? Is it a mass make kind of month? Producing a bunch of things to use and get ready for journal making? Just enjoying the peace and quiet after the holidays. They do tend to get very busy. Go this way on that one. This way on this one. All right. So let's decide on what we want to use for, I'm going to use these up too, forgot. Let's do a pink. Oops, coming into that one. Let's just chop them all while I'm here. And then I just keep these little watercolor paintings in a little tin. Let's use this guy. So I like to cut him quite narrow because the tag's quite narrow. Not even straight, but it doesn't bother me. I think this guy might be a little too big, but we'll try it. we go. Let's see if he's too big. Yeah, he takes up the whole tag. So we'll do another one. What else have we got? Excuse me, let's do the green. Let's do green. All right. A little piece of colored paper would be really nice on this too, but I don't have any of those colors out. Do I? I don't think so. Okay, so let's ink these. Just a fun way to use up your watercolor scraps. Making these very simple, but I think quite romantic and elegant little focal points. Just a little something. A little something. Maybe I want blue. Let's see here. Did I chop it too much? I think I want blue. I've been in a blue mood. I miss the bright blue skies. Sometimes here in Ontario, usually in winter, we get quite sunny days, but we haven't had any in a while. And it takes a toll on your brain. Might as well use up this green one too. I need sunshine. I don't need it all the time, but I do need days of it. I think just the vitamin D. You could take some sandpaper to these and really beat them up. That would be fun. Sorry, I was going to do 2, but now I want to do 3. All right, maybe we'll go this way. All right, I'm going to use my stronger glue for this, just because these are thicker watercolor paper. Stick that guy down there. Where do we want this one? Maybe off to this side. Ooh, thrown it away. And this guy here. And then I'm just going to add little pieces to here. So we could use some more ribbon, for example. Where did I put that roll of ribbon? Did I put it back? I don't think I did. Here's some pink. I'll use some pink. Do I want some of this on here? Across the bottom maybe with some numbers, because I love me some numbers. That works. For some reason when I fussy cut these out, I first glued them to a piece of paper, so they're a little bit thicker. And sometimes that's helpful, and other times it annoys me, and I wish I hadn't have done it. Let's see if I can get this tiny little piece of pink to stick. Leave that for a sec, and then this can just be the tie. I'm just going to go off camera here and staple this because my stapler is wedged. Just bear with me. There we go. Put a staple in there. Chop that down a little. Chop this. Maybe a cute little mini tag with some really pretty watercolor on there. So I do have blue ribbon. I have a little cluster of blue. That one's pretty. What else I've got? This one, it's kind of nice too. Gonna try and find the right tone of blue. I think that one that I just had, where'd it go? Oh, which one was it? It's kind of nice. Seriously, which one was it? This one. I think we'll use this. Got some knots in it. I think we'll just tie this through. Go through there and then through here, through the hole. Okay, something a little different. And then, oops, we'll add some numbers. I really like these numbers. I've used these before. My bingo tags. I like the type font on these. So I'm going to use this. You can stamp, of course. You get stamps. Whatever you got. Whatever you got. Tone the white down a little. There's some glue on there. I feel like it needs something behind it so it stands out a bit. Let's use some dark rolled paper here. Let's see if we like this. That's better. Pops the number forward a little. There we go, another one. And green. I don't have any green ribbon, I don't think. Not handy anyways. This is kind of green. Could use that. Got a minty green vibe to it. Just gonna staple this. Okay. What's fun is if you have material, you know, you have some sort of material, you really love it, then you can mix the watercolors to match it. And, you know, you can really have fun playing with the exact color you're looking for. Just gonna find something else too. Too dark. Kind of fun, another number. Maybe going up the side. Or going across the center. Sorry, I hope I'm in frame. I like it going up the side. And then I think this one needs just a little something else. Something round, maybe. I'm trying to get into the round stuff. We'll try it. I struggle using circular things. I don't know why. Round just doesn't appeal to me. And yet I see it in a lot of designs and I think, wow, that's really cool. But my brain works with corners and things that I find it quite challenging to use circles. But it's a new year. We'll try a new approach. See if I like it. See, I don't like it. Maybe if I break it up. If I break the circle a smidge. See, I struggle with the rounds. It doesn't feel harmonious to me. It really doesn't. I feel like it does not belong there. So composition-wise, It's not making me happy. Maybe the circle's just too big. Do a half circle. That's a bit better. A little less intrusive. I still want to add this number. There's something about these little mini type fonts on these bingo cards, not bingo cards, but what are they, kind of festival cards or whatever, that are so appealing to me. There. I like that. I almost used a circle. I used a semicircle. All right, so we got these and our cluster and my million other clusters. Oh boy. Boom. And you can just get to this point where you don't feel like making a full commitment yet to decorating and finishing them. But have fun with your watercolors, creating some really beautiful, simple to use focal points. And of course, you can even embellish these more by using a pen. Do I have a pen handy? You know, you can use a pen, you can use pencil crayon, you can use whatever you've got. I don't know where I put my pen. And then these, also, I've seen these a lot in clusters as well, which could be really fun to use. Especially if you have, say, an image that you have pulled out of a magazine and oh, there's a little pocket, even better. You've pulled out of a magazine or a paper that you like, and you just pull those colors out. It's also a really good practicing tool to learn how to mix colors when you're playing with your watercolor. So if you have, say, do I have a fun color here? Let's say I have this paper. How fun is this paper? And I want to create this color, or I want to create this orange, and these different yellows. And making these little swatches is a really great way to learn how to blend these color palettes or any colors that you might have to the colors you're looking for. All you need is your primary colors, your red, yellow, and blue, and you can make just about any color. So I hope you enjoyed today. I hope it was a fun little exercise slash craft along with me video. I hope it gets your juices flowing on creating some fun little inserts for your journals and get those watercolor flowing. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining me. Take care. Bye.